Hey folks, Phil from Edgemere R&D, and today we're working on an iPhone case project for my son. So we're doing a couple of trick things here on the Bridgeport Series 1, and I wanted to share with you one operation that I think is pretty cool. Rigid tapping a number 4 40 thread per inch thread through about a piece of 3/8 aluminum. We're going to do a through hole. I want to go through briefly how to center drill it, through hole it, and then rigid tap it. We're going to go through the machine process and show you how to move it from the high gear to the back gear, slow the speed way down, and we're going to use our VFD right here. We have a Lenza SMV Vector VFD variable frequency drive, which we're going to use to drop the hertz down from 60 hertz, which is the normal operating hertz, down to 30. So not only are we going to go into the back gear, slow the motor down to 60 RPMs using the vari-speed dial, but we're also going to use the VFD to slow the machine down to 30 RPMs. And that's how we're going to make our rigid tap operation. So here we go. I have a super small, I don't have the number of it, sorry, center drill in there. And I'm still on the back gear from the last operation that I did. We just put 2 holes in it. So I'm actually just going to move the machine into high gear. And sometimes you have to just turn the quill a tiny bit to get it to lock in. You want to make sure that you actually feel it lock in. I forget if I'm in forward or reverse right now, so let me just start the motor up real quick. And I'm in forward, 60 RPM. I'm going to speed this thing way up because the diameter of the center drill is so small. Actually, going to get it up to about 1600 RPMs, which, you know, is still kind of slow, but all we're doing is center drilling. Switch that out for our right size tap drill, which happens to be a number 43, which is also super small. I actually still have my hertz on 30, so let me just bump it up to 60. Through, shut the machine down. Now here comes the trick part. Make sure that you're not using a 4 flute. Really, you should not even be using a 3 flute tap. I am using a 3 flute, which is risky, I admit. I should be using a 2 flute because it clears the chip much easier. We're going to move our machine into the back gear right now. Sometimes, again, you have to just spin the quill to get it to lock in. I'm locked, and if you come on over here and take a look at the VFD, I'm just going to show you what I do on this real quick. So on this particular VFD, now if you have a drum switch, obviously you can just reverse the polarity with that. The only downside to a drum switch is you're not going to be able to get the RPMs below 60, which for me, when you're rigid tapping on a Bridgeport or any kind of milling machine, is an issue. So let's reverse the polarity. And I just hit the RF button and then hit M, and that sets it. I can start the machine. The reason you're reversing the polarity is because when you go into the back gear, it spins it turns the spindle backwards. So you need to actually reverse it to get it to turn forward. Now I'm going to drop my RPMs on my vari-speed down to 60. That's as slow as the machine wants to go without the VFD. Now I'm going to take the VFD, I'm going to drop the hertz down to 30. Now you can see that spindle's going super slow right now, approximately 30 RPMs, which is pretty much, should be sufficient for that size tap. I mean, you could go even slower, but I think personally you're going to risk breaking it if you're going slower than that. any faster and you're going to risk breaking it too. I just feel like that's a nice happy place for that size tap. Make sure your tap is oiled. Crucial. You can't have enough oil on there. Make sure your workpiece is oiled. And what we're going to do is just slowly let it hit the workpiece. As soon as it starts to grab, you're going to keep a little bit of down pressure on that quill. You can see my hand on the quill lever, and I'm just ever so slightly putting some pressure on it. I'm not going to stop putting pressure on it until it goes all the way through. And I'm through. Okay, now we're going to reverse again to come back out. So I'll reverse it, set it, put a tiny bit of upward pressure, start the motor back up, and just kind of help it along as it comes out. So I hope you found this helpful. Edgemere R&D. We hope to place some more videos on YouTube soon, showing some of the trick things that we do out in the shop here. And any questions or comments, leave them below. Thanks.